Hello everybody, my name is Liu Xin. I'm host of The Point with Liu Xin, an opinion show on CGTN, which goes out Monday through Friday, every day in the evening time, prime time Beijing. Now today, I'm not working for my regular show because it is Saturday, 4:15 here in the Chinese capital. I'm actually inside the Secretariat building of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, or SCO, because I'm doing a special roundtable discussion with some very interesting guests today. But before I start that discussion, I would like to just show you around the inside of the SCO Secretariat, very close to the heart of Beijing. So this is right at the entrance, and we're walking towards this very interesting entrance here. As you can see, there's a little memorabilia here, or actually it is a book made from marble. It says here the Charter of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization with 6 names engraved on it. Nazarbayev, former Chinese President Jiang Zemin, and then Russian President Putin, and some other leaders. Well, this was the book when this symbolizes the moment when the Shanghai Cooperation Organization was officially established in 2001. So the founding countries were 6 of them, namely China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. And this is the emblem of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. In Chinese, Shanghai 合作组织, and then in Russian, I don't know how to read that. But this is about to change very soon, because since June of last year, this organization has been expanded to include 2 new members. Guess which countries have been included as new members? India and Pakistan. So this map and this emblem will have to change. Also, the official language of this organization will have to be changed as well, because in the past it was just Chinese and Russian, and now as we have English-speaking countries joining us, so English will also become the official language of this organization. So on the back of this entrance, we see again some Chinese words here and some Russian translation. This is a very important message that needs to be remembered, needs to be studied, because this is called the Shanghai Spirit, which is the bedrock of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. What it says in Chinese is mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for cultural diversity, and pursuit of shared development. So this kind of symbolizes the uniqueness of this organization, because it is not some kind of a geopolitical grouping or military alliance, but rather a loose grouping of countries that are very, very different. I mean, all of these 8 members of this organization have different political system, different economic system, different religious beliefs, and some are big Muslim majority countries. Other, for instance, believe in Hinduism, and then you have the Russian religion of Orthodox Church, so on and so forth. But the idea how this organization can function is that it is deciding on the most important things of this organization through consultation, through consensus. So everybody has to be on board. There is not a vote where the minority has to obey the majority, and that makes this organization very, very different. And it is also what every country wants on such a platform, that big or small, their needs, their diversity is respected. So we have come to this inside hall of the Secretariat, and we are about to enter the part where the venue of our recording today. So I will have 8 different young people coming from each of the 8 SCO member countries, and we're going to have a round table. And this is the very first time such a program is being produced. So you are going to continue to follow us as I go in and do the final touches of the preparation, but meanwhile you'll be able to follow the entire discussion on the internet. So do stay with us. The entire production hopefully will last about 45 minutes. Each of these students will be speaking, and then we'll have a debate, we'll have a discussion, and then we'll wrap up. After that, we can also have a little more interaction on this platform. So stay with us if you want, and I'm going to go in and prepare myself for the beginning of the show. Thank you. 切走。1、2、3、4、5、6、7，1、2、3，1、2、3、4、5、6、7。我脸上的光怎么样？油不油？ Is everything fine? Good, good. Mm. 应该没问题，应该没问题。你是按刚才那个速度是吧？好 ，OK。
好，做好准备。好，我们现在倒计时哈，5、4、3、2、1，开机。
高金，现在别走，你等我说话的时候再走。对啊，你得看着我大概说到哪儿了，你不能先走了。刚才音乐跟你说话。刚才音乐怎么了？
刚音乐声音有点大。现在声音要调小吗？还是怎么着？ 好，我们准备开始哈，5、4、3、2、1。
已经完了。声音太小了，我都没听见我的 Q。Sorry。
那个，嘉欣给那个欣姐再放一遍音乐吧。
对了，我要不要带耳返啊？不用耳返了哈。
嘉欣给那个欣姐再放一遍音乐，让欣姐。
不，我知道那个音乐，但是刚才放的。 对，好吗？
小东，您那边准备好了吗？好。嘉欣，我会说一下音乐起哈，然后你再起哈。5、4、3、2、1，音乐起。
Imagine a regional organization in the heart of Asia whose members account for 1/5 of the global GDP, 2/5 of humanity, and 3/5 of the Eurasian landmass. Such is the combined vigor of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's 8 full members: China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, and it happens, it happens. So, 也可以。OK， 再来一遍哈。好，再来一遍。加油！ Imagine a regional organization in the heart of Asia whose members account for 1/5 of the global GDP, 2/5 of humanity, and 3/5 of the Eurasian landmass. Such is the combined vigor of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's 8 full members: China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. And people under the age of 30 account for about 1/3 of the population of these countries, so their views and roles matter. As the 18th annual summit of the SCO kicks off in East China's Qingdao city, let's talk about this organization through the lens of young people. Welcome to a special edition of The Point with me, Liu Xin, coming to you from the SCO Secretariat in the heart of Beijing. For the first time in history, a youth representative from each SCO member will join me for a televised panel. We'll talk about how the SCO has impacted young people in their countries and what they can do for this organization in the future. This program is also being carried on our new media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, CGTN app, and Sina Weibo under the hashtag SCO Youth Talk. So let's meet my young guests today. From India, Monish Kedia. From Kazakhstan, Nazerke Aybar. From China, Zhao Zhen. From Kyrgyzstan, Beksultan Metetabraimov. From Pakistan, Nishat Kazmi. From Russia, Victoria Koo. From Tajikistan, Mahmudian Hamraliev. And from Uzbekistan, Odil Gafarov. First, let's get a feel of how they think of this organization through 1-minute presentation by each one of them on what concerns them most about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Shall we start with Monish from India?
Sure. I think as young students, we believe one of the major concerns and also duties is to find ways to increase economic development and youth employment in all of our countries. And the Shanghai Cooperation Organization being one of the organizations with 42% of world population, more than 20% of world GDP, and 22% of the world landmass, can do a lot in terms of adding to this goal of individual goals of economic development of these countries and foster trade and investment, which will feed into bringing regional stability and help these countries grow out of being a low and middle income country to a high income country and solve the problems of youth employment.
Thank you very much, Monish. Nazerke from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, thank you. I truly agree with what Monish just said. In my opinion, out of all the areas that SCO has been working in, economic development is an area that needs the most development. In the future, I see that SCO can work in order to enhance its economic cooperation. For example, according to a survey, if that customs times is diminished only by 15 minutes, that means that GDP can rise by $20 billion. So a lot can be done for youth employment, a lot can be done in the future for creation of joint ventures among countries of SCO, a lot can also be done in order for regional e-commerce development to be enhanced.
Thank you very much, Nazerke. Zhao Zhen from China.
The Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a very young and energetic organization. In the past 70 years, it has made great progress in economic security and humanitarian cooperation. And at the same time, it's also facing a lot of challenges, like how to speed up the multilateral economic cooperation, how to boost the interconnectivity of the region, and how to eliminate terrorism, extremism, and separatism. For me, I hope everything goes well with SCO, and all the people from the SCO countries, especially young people, can really enjoy the dividends of the organization's development, like enjoy a free and cleaner environment, and have more opportunity, a chance to find a new job and start a new business. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zheng. And Bek Sultan?
When it comes to Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it's crucial to point out that there is a downfall of globalization and arousal of conservatism and nationalism right now. And regional integration in terms of Shanghai Cooperation Organization can be one of the main opportunities for youth to show up their ideas, to show up what they want. I believe that one of the main and crucial parts is their big need in innovative technologies. They are striving for understand and to move forward, to create, and motivated to do, enhancing in field of innovative technologies.
Thank you very much, Bek Sultan. And Nishan?
Thank you. As we live in a globalized world and as regions come closer through processes such as the Belt and Road Initiative or through organizations such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it is really important that at the country level, the educational curriculums also strive to teach about these different regions. Because it's not only about cooperation at the diplomatic level, but it's also important that educational curriculums and cultural awareness is imparted in the youth. As was mentioned, that Shanghai Cooperation Organization represents a lot of young people in these countries. So it is really important that educational curriculums and educational exchanges are developed so that nationals of these countries can learn more about each other and in future cooperate better with each other. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nishad. Victoria?
I agree with the previous speakers, and I want to touch also the aspect of humanitarian exchange, and the SCO has been developing in the beginning as the anti-terrorism and political organization. However, recently they began to develop economical and cultural aspects as well. And in terms of the cultural and people-to-people exchange, I want to touch more on the importance of us, Generation SCO, young, dynamic, and vibrant generation, to take more the ownership of the organization and consider this organization as also a very young and dynamic organization, as something that is ours. And as Secretary General always says, Shanghai spirit is with us. And Shanghai spirit is about mutual trust and mutual connections and benefits and cooperation. And we're just, for example, in the SCO Countries Youth League, we are embracing the difference, and we're learning a lot from each other. So I think people-to-people exchange, especially among young people, is important. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Mahmoud?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to go back to 2008, to the year of 2008, the year when the economic and financial crisis happened. As it was mentioned in past year's speech by the President of Tajikistan, leader of the nation, His Excellency President Rahmon, he mentioned that the economic from the young people are those who suffered the most from the economic crisis. Because of that, today, the motto SCO, we were able to develop different frameworks to tackle that problems, as well as the Republic of Tajikistan proposed the creation of the Young Entrepreneurs Fund, which would be able to support different various ideas, interconnecting and making SCO countries more and more close to each other. We believe that people-to-people connection, support to the young people is essential for the future of the SCO. Thank you.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Odile?
I totally support the ideas have been said before by my colleagues, and I want to mention that for most of the population in this region, Shanghai Cooperation Organization is more popular as a security organization. However, nowadays, as we can see, security is just 30% of job which Secretariat and the leaders of the countries are doing now. If we paid attention to the activities of SCO for last year and for 2016, we can see that they are putting stress on young generation, especially in the business and innovation spheres. A lot of meetings starting from very high up to very bottom level. And we can see that a lot of young people from India, Pakistan, Russia, China, and Central Asian countries are really driven with the ideas of making one platform which can provide the opportunity to work together. So yes, there might be some challenges, but what we can see now, especially language barriers, are not being problems for all of us.
Thank you very much to all of them for their opening statements. Indeed, young people have to take the ownership of this organization. It's about time, and we have a lot of things that we can do. But before we explore the possibilities of how to make this organization more youth-friendly, let's say, I would first maybe ask you to reflect on the journey that we have come through as member of this SCO. I know India and Pakistan just joined last year, but still I'm going to ask you whether the past year has made any difference. So let's start the first part of our free discussion as to what the SCO has brought to each of your country, to young people in your country, to you personally. Monish, can I start with you? 1 year as an SCO member, what has SCO membership meant for young people like you in India?
I think for young people in India, this membership of SCO means greater interaction with the Central Asian region. As you can see, Prime Minister Modi visited all the Central Asian region countries in 2015, and since then we have increased our attention towards not only having more economic cooperation, but also cultural exchanges. So I think being a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 1 year has given us this positive push towards becoming more and more closer to the region. Being neighbors, that's the least I think we can do.
Absolutely.
So I think as a young leader, I think this organization will play a major role in bringing the neighbors together in celebrating our shared culture, but also looking towards the future of economic development.
So not just looking east, but also looking north for Indians.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
And Nazeka, you major in finance and consulting. You've studied in China, the United States, Europe. You also worked for multinationals, and you're also very active in volunteering for organizing Model UN and Youth Parliament. What has Kazakhstan's SCO membership meant for you as a young person and for people like you in Kazakhstan?
I think that SCO has brought a lot of benefits for Kazakhstan and for all member countries of SCO. And we're talking about all areas of cooperation. We're talking about economics, we're talking about security, we're talking about cultural exchange.
But for young people specifically?
If we're talking about young people, first of all, I would like to emphasize the security point. As far as you know, until 2015, SCO and RATS has eliminated more than 440 terrorist camps, and it has eliminated more than 2,000 terroristic people who are involved in terroristic groups. And it is very important because right now, more than 2 billion people within SCO countries are young, and they're exposed to all this information about extremism, separatism, and about terrorism. And being able to deal with these issues is extremely important, not only for my country, but for all countries. And the second point that I would like to also mention is definitely education. China has provided 20,000 scholarships only for SCO member countries' students. And for me, as a young person, this is a great opportunity to learn about other countries within SCO.
Did you come to China to study as one of the beneficiaries of these programs?
I came here through Yantian Academy scholarship. However, I am receiving China's government scholarship. So it is, again, a support of Chinese government for students from my country. And it is just, I express my gratitude towards that.
That's great. Well, I think the Chinese government is also pleased to have young talents like you coming from everywhere. Zhao Zheng, let me come to you. You have studied Russian since you entered university all the way till now, and you've majored in Shanghai Cooperation Organization, China-Russia relationship. What made you so fascinated about this part of the world and this organization?
Let me just give you my personal example, because after I received a degree in political science, I got a job in China Institute of International Studies. And you know, the China National Center for SCO Studies also is in my institute. So I personally do the executive works for the running of the secretariat of this Chinese center. I have to say that SCO has changed my life because most part of my job is to do research about SCO, and also I have got a lot of opportunity to attend and organize the SCO forum meeting, and I have a lot of chance to travel to other SCO member countries. And in 2010, I still have a chance to be a member of the SCO delegation to observe the parliamentary election in Tajikistan. So
your life is all about the SCO.
Yeah, SCO has changed my life, and as far as I observed, a lot of young scholars, especially who used to major in Russian language and political science, also.
But are there a group of Chinese people who become more interested in Central Asia as a result of the SCO?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. Baek So-tan, let me come to you. Now, you major in business administration and public policy, and you have studied in the American University of Central Asia in Bishkek, but pursued further study in Peking University and now Beijing Normal University. Why such a trajectory?
Well,
Does it have to do with the SCO?
some part. I would say some part. You're right when it comes to that. Because from the beginning, when I finished my bachelor degree, I started to work for a financial audit firm. And as a part of my job would be like working with the government and working with the international organizations. One of the things which we did is auditing the financial statements and financial projects of the organizations. On the basis of that, we were proposed to take a part in academic exchange in master degree. So that's one of the parts, as Nazrike already said, that the Chinese government gave the scholarship for the master degree, which I gained in Peking University.
Great. But looking at the group of young people like you in Kyrgyzstan, what is their understanding of this organization, of this part of the world? Has that been changed because of the SCO?
Some part. Actually, when it comes to the Kyrgyz youths, they have been the camp. They have been the camp of SCO in China. Previously, more than 1,000 people came.
From Kyrgyzstan?
From Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan,
okay,
and all participant countries.
Okay.
And people from Kyrgyzstan youth actually talked about that because like it was part of the not only having fun and understanding and cultural differences and coming together, they also made the documents which jointly represented their ideas. So it was a big part of the youth, and it was quite interesting to see how it developed in Kyrgyzstan, because it went to the model of SCOs in the university degrees and in the schools. They tried to implement on that matter too.
Okay, let's talk about the case of Pakistan, Nishat. You come from Pakistan, and Pakistan, as India, joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization only last year, but Pakistan has an iron brother relationship with China already for a long time. Does the SCO membership make any additional difference for young people in Pakistan?
Well, certainly. I mean, we, as you very rightly mentioned, we are a newcomer in the organization, and we became a full member just last year. So this 1 year has only been a process of integration into the organization when it comes to the state level. So, but when it comes to the awareness of young people, I think there's much more work needed to be done in order to make them aware about the work of the organization. Over the last 2 years, since the approval of membership in 2016, a lot of news circles have been talking about the organization, but as we have now entered, we believe that we will be part of all the agreements when it comes to cultural agreements or educational agreements. So that would provide an opportunity to the young people of Pakistan to learn more about not only the Central Asian countries, but also China and Russia, something that was going on pretty much at the bilateral level in the past.
Victoria, coming from Russia, you have a lot of experience in project management, I see, and you're passionate about education education and community building. You organize a lot of events linking Russian people and Chinese people together. Why are you so passionate about the SCO Youth activity? I understand it is also your idea, right, to have the SCO Youth League, or at least part of your idea.
Part
why
of my
is,
idea.
Yeah, why are you so passionate about it?
So I believe the SCO, I consider myself SCO as the platform where everyone is welcome to realize themselves. And SCO recently, especially the SCO Secretariat, is very open to young people and to young generation. And especially the Secretary General is paying a lot of attention to youth. And also on the Qingdao Summit, they'll mention, the leaders will mention them a lot about youth. So the SCO Countries Youth League was developed initially as the platform for young people but for young people who are active, proactive, and for those people who are ready to take the action, that suggest new ideas and ready to implement them.
But why the SCO, not any other framework?
Because, can I tell a bit about the story of why we actually came up with SCO?
Try to keep it short.
Yeah, so in the beginning, the idea was to create a platform for all Russian speakers, because it doesn't exist, for all Russian speakers from like pre-Soviet Union countries. And then the SCO came very naturally, because by that time, SCO had 6 member states, and then India and Pakistan joined in. So, and then we became the SCO platform, and then recently we started to add more countries, and now we have 18. So I believe this is a great platform for us, because SCO is the biggest trans-regional organization in the world. And for sure, in the future, young people would like to be more involved in that and to make impact and to bring what we've learned in China back to their country and to the region.
Mm-hmm. Let me go to Mahmoud. Since 2012, this is your 6th year in China. Right. Basically, you finished your high school in Bishkek and then you came to China. Dushanbe, sorry. That's the thing with Central Asian countries. Right. Sometimes we mix the capitals. Okay, Dushanbe is the capital of Tajikistan.
Right.
We've learned. So you came straight to China to go to university, and you have first gone to Beijing Foreign Studies University, then Peking University, and you have studied management, public policy, and you're also passionate about fighting AIDS, TB, and malaria. Why China? Why under the SCO framework?
First of all, I would like to mention that back in 2011, when I was about to finish my high school, I was wondering why some countries are developed and why some countries are on the way of becoming developed countries. And I just came up with China. China was the most rapid developing economy in the world. So I wanted to learn the Chinese policies and how to implement those policies in Tajikistan to make the Tajikistan prosperous as well. So that was my initial idea, and I came to China to learn the business from the business side. So after I studied for the 4 years on a Chinese business major, I decided to go to study the public policy, to study the Chinese miracle from the government side. So for that reason, I decided to go to the Peking University, and I believe the creation of the SCO the development of the SCO is like very important for all the students, of the respective countries, because now with the development of the university SCO, we also will be able to go and study at the different universities and receive multiple degrees and receive more knowledge, which is the more knowledge, the more better it is.
That's a very interesting thing. You just mentioned the University of SCO. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But let me come to your deal from Uzbekistan. You're an award-winning student journalist. And yeah, on educational affairs, and you're also specializing in economics and international relations. You studied in the University of World Economy and Diplomacy under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Uzbekistan. So you want to be a career diplomat in the future? No?
Yes, why not?
Okay, how has the SCO membership of Uzbekistan changed your life and the lives of people like you?
I think that's a very political question, because, SCO the name of the organization, the current format of organization was created after joining of Uzbekistan to the organization. Before it was called as Shanghai 5, and mostly was specialized on border resolving problems. And when they had a successful result after the working out on this issue, these countries decided, okay, then we can move on. We can work together, and without Uzbekistan, which has a very important geopolitical position in the region, in Central Asia, it's impossible to work on security spheres. So after when the offer was sent to the government of Uzbekistan, the former president of Uzbekistan, President Karimov, was very happy to accept it, and the entire nation, and we joined. But I need to mention that before SCO, there were a lot of offers from the other political and security organizations. But, however, the conditions which they offered, they were not equal. So SCO offered an equal cooperation on a military, political, and economic spheres. And the people of Uzbekistan accepted this. Yes, we can cooperate, but only when we're equal. Uzbekistan is a very small country. China, and especially Russia, are one of the biggest countries in the world.
In terms of size?
In terms of size, in terms of population, GDP, and so on, and especially military sphere. However, if these countries accepts you and treats you as equal, it makes sense for us. It is very important. So for all of the population of Uzbekistan, and especially for young people, it was very, very important. And the war on terror was mentioned, that SCO prevented a lot of terroristic acts. Well, when something happens, everyone knows it. But when you prevent it, no one cares. And the number of prevented attacks are several times more than the existing threats. And it had huge impact on population, and especially young people.
So basically, the SCO, because of its successful cross-border operations, provided a safe opportunity for young people in many of the member countries to study, to find jobs, to develop themselves. And also, as you said, the conditions this organization attaches to membership makes it possible for big and small countries to cooperate together. But I want to ask this question on top of what I have asked you as to what SCO has brought to each and one of your country. What do you think is the biggest difference of the SCO that makes it able to deliver to young people in Central Asia that the other organizations are not able to do?
I think one thing which surely comes to our mind is to see geographically, right? If you see all these countries, we are very geographically packed at one place. So we are at the center of Asia. We cover almost, as I mentioned, 22% of the landmass. So this geographical proximity, first of all, makes easier to have more infrastructure connection. And this infrastructure connection then feeds into economic development, which again feeds into regional stability, and which again goes back in the loop and feeds into economic development. So as an organization, I think SCO has these 8 countries with very specific locations, shared history of more than maybe 5,000 years. I think we can do much more than at any other platform.
Yeah, just now somebody mentioned the Shanghai spirit. Who mentioned it? You did, right. And I want to highlight that as well, because it's not just the size of the organization that matters, right? I think it is also very, very important that the mentality of this organization, the bedrock, which is the Shanghai spirit. Why is the SCO different than the other similar organizations in other parts of the world?
I think in terms of, if we talk about the values of the organization and the main basis and foundation of the organization, which is consensus, is more about all the countries being equal. And Shanghai spirit is something that we all share because we all admire and we all know that only through cooperation and work together, the mutual trust, we will achieve more.
But other people would say, look, you are very low on efficiency because for everything you need to have a consensus, right? If one member does not agree, then you don't have any decision. For a lot of times where you need action, quick results, this is low efficiency. How could you address that? Yes, Mahmoud.
I believe that first of all, the importance of the consensus is that we all have like the same goals, the same problems, and same ideas how to tackle them. If we all apply the same approach, it will be more helpful and more efficient in a way that we can all put our efforts together and tackle all those problems. If, for example, each country individually put the different strategies in place, and if they're not coordinated, we as a people would not be able to live well because maybe they will have like some conflicting strategies. So the consensus-based decision making is very important in a way that it helps to coordinate the power, helps to coordinate all the necessary. How should I put it? All the necessary. Mobilize people, mobilize thoughts in a way to come together. If there is no consensus, the problems which are present, the global problems are not possible to be solved.
And for the young people, Bek Nusultan.
I would like to add on this part, well, there is a long-term benefit from the actual consensus, because when it comes to that, there is a national interest of each country. We should understand that national interest might sometime collide. And the consensus bring that national interest going towards one goal. And at the end of the day, in the long-term parts, it's going to be more and more efficient.
So maybe at the moment you don't come to so many quick decisions, but if you really put everybody's interests together for the long-term atmosphere as well for the organization. In terms of young people, again, I want to come back to this. Is the Shanghai Cooperation, is the Shanghai spirit, this kind of a diversity, this kind of pursuit of shared development for the young people, does that mean anything, or they just want to go about and do their business? Nazirke.
Of course it does. Adding on point of Shanghai spirit, one of the claims of Shanghai spirit is mutual benefit. And it means that only through consensus you can get benefit for everyone. There is opportunity for countries within SCO framework to abstain from some decisions. It happens rarely, but if a country thinks that it does not coincide with its national interest, then the country can abstain.
And so the whole decision is off the table?
No. The whole decision is taken, but that country does not sign the document.
Okay.
And that can happen. It happens rarely, but it does. So if there are some decisions that needs to be done for some countries, it can be done for some countries as well. In terms of perspective of youth, definitely with expansion of Shanghai Cooperation Organization and making it the biggest regional organization in the world, we have all this diversity of languages, religions, all this landmass which has been the cradle of civilization, of the whole civilization. And because we have been organizing this conference for young people, we have been able to interact with so many people. And through this platform, I have met much more people that I have met at my university and at my international scholarship. So opportunity to have all these different minds and open up your horizons is just
right. I want to hear a little bit more about the SCO University, because I think that's a very interesting idea. Is it a real university with a fixed campus, or is it an organization of different universities in different parts of the world? Who can answer this question? Yes, Odile.
Yeah, it's a net. It's not one university. So idea of SCO University was based on building a net of universities on SCO countries, which can cooperate between each other with the same conditions, the recognizing of the diplomas, having the same education programs, sharing of not just the students but also the professors, teachers, and to have a one platform to work on academic purposes. However, some of the issues of this idea now have been resolved but there are a lot of details on which countries can work now. And
For instance,
the diploma issue. Let's say if you studied now, there is a platform for academic exchanges, so you can send students from one country to another. Let's say from China to Russia, and Russia from China, and so on. But they receive only certificates, but not the real diplomas. Yes. So what has been doing now is to create a real platform. Let's say for master degrees. To study at several universities, at least 2 in these countries, or 4, let's say for 2 years, per 4 semesters, and to have diplomas from all of these universities. And these diplomas could be recognized in other countries.
Very, very interesting. And I think that is going to lead us to the second part of our discussion, which is how can we make the SCL more friendly to the youth, or how can young people better galvanize this platform so that we can better develop ourselves and have better cooperation? Maybe starting with the SCO University, in the future, what can be done to make this platform, or such platforms, more accessible, more convenient, to provide more support for the young people in different parts of the... Nishat.
Thank you so much. So I would reaffirm what my friend Odil just said about the SCO University, and certainly it's a great initiative. However, I would like to say there is also a parallel initiative that was taken by the SCO, and that was creating a consortium of universities which sort of support what Odil said, institutional exchanges in different SCO countries. But there is no formal legal basis for that. So perhaps going forward, perhaps in the Qingdao summit, or perhaps in the future summits, consensus could be reached about developing such mechanisms so that they help support the exchange of young people, educational exchanges in particular, in these different countries. But I also like to take this opportunity to add to what my friend Vika just said about the opportunities that have already been provided to us through the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So through the cooperation between the SCO Countries Youth League and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, we have had the opportunity to attend multiple events here in Beijing at the SCO Secretariat, as well as multiple talks with the ambassadors. We have had the opportunity to learn a lot about different countries, cultures that we didn't know. The SCO Secretariat is particularly very active. They have been organizing at least one cultural event every month. So being in Beijing, we have benefited a lot from getting to know more about SCO.
So at least 2 things can be done: more coordination, better policies in terms of the SCO organization, but also for young people from different parts to better make use of the existing programs. Yes,
Yeah,
Victoria,
I'll
please.
be short, but I would say,
Go ahead.
I would say that so Odile and Nishat were talking more about the institutional mechanism. And I would say it's also important, if we want to improve SCO and the cooperation within the SCO framework, it's important for us to take actions. And this is what we call taking the ownership of the organization. Because as one of the professors said on one of our discussion club meetings, he said, the presidents are already in the history. Now it's your turn to take the action, so be active and be proactive.
The question is how?
How?
You have the experience. You can show the young people watching us the pathway towards taking ownership of this organization.
For example,
Victoria,
I'll be very short,
yeah.
But for example, taking into the example the SCO Countries Youth League platform, we can first, this is grassroots organization. And we started with the content. So we started to think with our, what can we provide to the platform, and how can all of us benefit from it? And this is how Discussion Club came in, then the trainings, the field trips, and now the Model SCO, which is our annual project right now, and was very successful. And
it's one of the pathways.
One of the pathways is to take the action, and when you have the passion to do it, you'll receive the support. I'm sure about
Monish, you wanted to add something?
I just wanted to pitch into that, because when we say education, it sounds very broad, but education has a lot of different opportunities. I will give you one example. For instance, Kazakhstan right now has a huge lack of health professionals. for example, in health economics or field of health policy making. Now, countries like India or China, which have a huge number of health professionals working in this area, can feed into that. So young people like us, for example, I study health economics at Beijing University, have opportunity to understand Kazakhstan's problem and then juxtapose it to what is happening in our countries, and then maybe aid into the development of the country through our own personal interests.
Right. Mahmoud, you wanted to add?
Yes, I just wanted to mention the things that we agreed today at the motto SCO. As the young people, we agreed to support the development of the SCO University, and in the first place, we would like also to underline the importance of its being accessible to everyone. Currently, there is not so much information available on the website, so we would like to propose actually to make the information more accessible so more students can get involved, and there will be the stronger people-to-people connection inside the SCO.
Yeah, let me just give our Chinese friend an opportunity to say something here. What about the Chinese young people? How enthusiastic are they about the SCO, and what do they want to do to take ownership of this organization?
I have just to answer the question. According to my personal experience, sorry, would you please repeat the question?
Yeah, my question is, how involved are Chinese students with this SCO, and what can they do maybe to better take advantage of this organization? Do you have any, have you talked with your fellow students or your fellow researchers about the SCO, and what are their thoughts? What can be done better?
Yeah, because I've been a researcher for nearly 10 years. I've away from college for many years. One of my the major tasks of my job is to give policy recommendations to the government.
Do you give policy recommendations in this regard as to what to do with young people?
And I just have to say, today I'm very lucky to be invited to this program, because when I was doing my research, I think I didn't do much like a field research or something. I just read a lot of materials, documents, and have a lot of interaction with the government officials and other scholars. But today I found it's very, very necessary to really come to the university, to
talk to young people,
to know their life, to know their expectations, to know what they are doing now. They are taking the ownership of the SCO.
You're welcome to join the Youth League.
Yes.
Nobody is too old. Is there an age limit?
20 to 35.
20 to 35. I don't qualify. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
But coming to the education, sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Coming to the understanding the policies, there is idea that the people can join at least the festivals. The festivals in different parts of countries, in Kazakhstan, Russia, in Kyrgyzstan, there are like CSO festivals, which they represent the countries which are there, China, and all the representative countries, and experience the culture benefits. First of all, you have to get comfortable with that, right? And the students are enjoying at least the beginning of it, and eventually, hopefully, take a part, as Vika doing right now, and other guys here.
Odile.
Yeah, we're here talking about very important questions, and one of them is what young people can do. Well, I think the answer to this question can be found from what is happening now. Well, actually, if you pay attention to the news headlines, when you just search in the internet SCO and young people, SCO and youth, you can see that there are the huge number of projects which actually have been running now. For example, two young people in Russia and Moscow came with the idea that they can create a business incubator for a platform for young specialists in investment banks to meet and to work each other. and they didn't know where to go. And and some of their friends who were studying the politics, he recommended, why not international organizations? United Nations or some other organization didn't work. However, SCO listened. They said, okay, go ahead. They built this project last year, and it is working now, and it makes impact and, of course, money. And this is not the only project. There are several of them in Russian East, Far East, Khabarovsk, Vladivostok, and so on. But the thing is that young people now, they don't know about these opportunities, because SCO leadership is ready to listen to us and give us these opportunities. I'll tell some personal history, some personal story about.
Very long, or?
No, not long. Not long.
Okay, very quickly.
Well, one of the idea of conducting model of SCO is not young. It existed before. However, the young people couldn't come up because they were afraid.
Why were they afraid?
Afraid that leadership will not listen to them. However, interesting thing is, so it's a question of how brave you are. One of my friends, during one of very high official level meeting with the General Secretary of SCO, came up with the idea that they could organize a model of SCO, and what he thinks about this. And the answer of General Secretary was amazing. He said, I want this man to work for me.
So indeed,
they are ready to work with us.
Indeed, that's what I noticed right before our recording, right? We have this very lively group with some slightly older officials from the SCO, I guess. And I understand there was this SCO Youth Conference, and then you have come up with some kind of a statement, and you have given that to the Secretariat of the SCO to be presented during this year's Qingdao Summit of the SCO. Who could tell us a little bit more about that? Nazerke.
Yeah, sure. Because I was Secretary General and I was editing the documents all the time. I was basically sitting and typing all recommendations and then deleting everything.
Right.
So what I can say about this initiative, the youth and the subject that we're discussing now, I was truly amazed by how SCO Secretariat is welcoming young people to come here and how easy it is just to come and meet Ministry of International Affairs of your country just by coming here. And you don't need to do anything, you just have to take initiative, just have to propose or do something. Today at our conference we have been discussing 4 main topics, which are, the first one was education, the second one was IT and innovation, the third one was business and economics, and the last one was cultural exchange. And we have made several conclusions and several recommendations. And interestingly, while Secretary General of SCO Rashid Alimov was sitting at the same building upstairs, people from SCO Secretariat have been running to him and telling all our recommendations, and he has been taking notes. And by the end of the conference, when he has been giving his last speech, he told us that he took 20 points out of our resolution and that he's going to think about it. So this kind of personal approach, this kind of attention to youth is just invaluable when you understand that you're being cared.
So can I ask you to share some of the points as our concluding segment of this discussion? Basically, I want you to brainstorm here, right? What are you recommending for this organization to be younger, let's say? Some ideas you could share with us, maybe the top of the list of your recommendation.
Definitely top of the list has always been education. Education has always been the priority for young people. Specifically talking about University of SCO, exchanges, education of tolerance, and education of anti-terroristic education.
Very interesting. Bek Sultan?
As my colleague already said about education, but I'll talk more about innovative technologies part. We signed up for more than, I think, 2-3 points there. The main point was that innovative technology matters, and we would try to advise to look on to the robotics development and the development of Industrial Revolutionary number 4. When it comes to that, it's artificial intelligence, big data systems, and
But
so on.
specifically, what you're recommending?
That was one of the recommendations, to look on to and help to the projects which developing with the robotics development in Russia, China, India, and following countries. The another recommendation was CSO IT Youth Program, where we would use IT specialists from different countries, especially from private sector, and try to come up with the platform where they can meet the companies and companies can exchange. Leading companies like Baidu, Tencent, Infosys from India when it comes to that, Medus from Kyrgyz Republic, they might be interested in their new markets. They might be interested in actually knowing which specialists they can bring on. And another part was cybersecurity. It's one of the main parts, which
Right.
also we talked on. We proposed to hold the hackathon of CSO when it comes to that, which would gather up all the specialists of the cybersecurity and try to discuss and understand what can be done in terms of that.
Who could tell me what young people can do in terms of cybersecurity? I think young people has a very important role there. Odile.
Well, we're living in very difficult time, and it shows that young people know more than all generation. Or this technology.
You grew up in there, I know. You are the
yes,
Aborigines.
no, this is one of the very, very important part of our life. I'm not programmer. I never studied IT, but I'm very not bad in computer and programming and coding. And now it's I cannot imagine myself without IT technologies. So even I, the person who doesn't have any IT educational background, can propose some ideas. And now people like me know more than the specialists. And we can come up with very fresh ideas regarding the cybersecurity. Mostly, security has been shifting to the digital world.
Right.
And
so young people, as Aborigines in the cyber world, have a lot to do. Well, we have to leave it almost there. We're running out of time. Such an interesting discussion. But I really want to try and give you, maybe each one of you, one sentence. How about that? But really be short, because otherwise your sentence will be cut out. So say something about this summit. What do you want to see this summit do to young people for your country? Really think about it, one sentence from each one of you. Yeah? Shall we try that? Okay, Monish.
I think this upcoming summit in Qingdao would be one which will be based on mutual trust, cooperation, and more economic integration for all the 8 countries.
Thank you. Nazerke.
This summit will, for the first time, make an address for young people from heads of states, and I am very much looking forward for that.
Okay, Zhao Zhen.
I expect the Qingdao summit to yield very concrete measures to create conditions for young scholars to exchange more with the other member states.
Bek Sultan.
I would hope that Qingdao Summit would bring up new opportunities for the youth and to see actually their needs.
Nishad.
I hope the word youth will be included in the Qingdao Declaration, because it was absent in the Astana Declaration.
Okay.
So I hope it's included there, and also in the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Cooperation that President Xi has proposed, which is expected to be signed in this summit. So I hope that youth is included in both. Thank you.
Okay, Victoria.
I would expect the Qingdao Summit for sure will have a very big exposure in media, and I would expect young people to look at it from different perspectives and take the ownership.
Again, Mahmoud.
I hope that upcoming summit will address all the necessary issues which came up, and the leaders will take the necessary actions to tackle those problems. And I believe that together we can.
Odile.
Oh, I'm very excited that our message will be delivered to the heads of our countries through Secretariat, because General Secretary, he sits at the same table with Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and the heads of countries of all SCO countries. So he can deliver it in person, which is a very, very great job for great result for all of us.
Thank you very much, Odile. And many thanks to all of you for coming to this program. And I have to wrap it up. And many thanks for you to have followed us on this special edition of The Point with me, Liu Xin, the SCO Youth Talk. That is the end of this special edition. As always, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter using the handle The Point with LX. Download the application called CGTN to watch the show on your mobile devices, or go to YouTube and look for CGTN The Point. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Huh? Thank you very much. That's great. Yeah, just a moment. Yes, it's great. Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. I believe we still have to do some additional shots. So sit where you are, a little bit more.
We're gonna have here introduction.
Yeah, we'll redo the introduction. When I introduce, you just yeah.
Because it is not filmed on
Okay.
the live show, right?
So
What should we do?
just look at me and smile.
Oh, okay.
Nod and smile.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the
Okay,
TV
no.
magic.
Oopa. So I'll just say your name, and you smile to the person in the middle. Okay? All right. 可以吗? So let's meet my young guests today. From India, Monish. Oh. Okay. Let's meet my young guests today. From India, Monish Kedia. From Kazakhstan, Nazerke Ayba. From China, Zhao Jin. From Kyrgyzstan, Beksultan Mamet Ibrahimov. From Pakistan, Nishat Kazmi. From Pakistan, Nishat Kazmi. From Russia, Victoria Ku. From Tajikistan, Mahmudion Hamraliev. And from Uzbekistan, Odile Gafarov.
We didn't look to the camera.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.